to the Office of Congress. He's main studio guest. Jonathan, the Chamorro Land Trust Commission, you know, the political status, the quest for our political status is being challenged, likewise by the same individual that's challenging the legality or the, I guess, being a race-based situation in regards to not only political status, but also the Chamorro Land Trust. Your thoughts?
And that's what I go back to. It deals with a certain time. Chamorros weren't citizens during that time in 1898. Mm-hmm. And so when we go to 1950, that's when we were given second-class citizenship. And this is the reason why this is an American problem. This is not a Guam Chamorro problem. Mm-hmm. This is an American problem because they defined who the peoples of Guam were, and they said they were Chamorros. So we'll use that. But it goes back to 1898. That's why those cases need to be dropped. And if you take a look at what the judge wrote about it, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I think we need to believe that judge. Mm-hmm. And ultimately, people who want to, you know, Chamorro is a word. It's a dirty word, actually, mm-hmm. in Spanish. But that's what we are. Mm-hmm. And what we are, United Nations people. I keep going back to that, international. When you take Guam away and look at Guam as an international place of safe haven for all peoples of goodwill, and that's what we are on this island. And it goes back to the vote. So, you know, if it goes back to 1898, we have a decolonization registry. That has to be tested for its legality as well, because it's being charged at U.S. District Court. I mean, the case needed to be thrown out. Because the parameter is really, I think, in international law, and that's what Guam is. It's international.
Now, Admiral had just left here and, of course, replaced by another admiral. Upon his departure, he says even the term decolonization is kind of an insult. Your thoughts on that?
First and foremost, I believe that Bushong has his own reasons. He stayed here on Guam and met very interesting people, or were informed by very interesting people. And his concern is legitimate, just like every other person's concern is legitimate. But we stand on the grounds of self-determination, which is internationally recognized. Mm-hmm. And we need to go back to that. And the United States, I'm trying to help you guys out. I'm trying to say you need to honor that. The Japanese revere their ancestors and their elderly. They're their national treasures. That's why they're giving Guam the money, because the war reparations need to be paid out already. Such shame. And the Japanese don't deserve that kind of treatment, right? Or have that stigma about them. And I think that's what the first thing that needs to happen. And, you know, people need to look at the military that are here now. What are you doing about those individuals who are here now? Are we treating them with respect, opening arms? They're always at our things. And so we say thank you for making Guam home. But at the same time, please understand the history of Guam, because you'll understand the story of the Chamorro.
Now, earlier in the year, Guam was basically offered half a loaf in the sense of the war reparations for those that are still living, and not to compensate the ones who have passed. What are your thoughts on, we could have gotten some, but it was, our delegate at the time says it was either all or nothing.
All survivors and their descendants need to be paid this money. We owe it to our ancestors. We owe it to those who sacrificed for liberty, for truth, for freedom, and who believed in this dream. And that is what the whole point of this conversation is that you want to inundate us with more military in this island without adequately sustaining that move. There are Marines, as I mentioned on the radio show, that really don't believe in coming to Guam, because they need to be out, like what Senator McCain was saying, out there in the front lines. And I believe that that's important to consider, but move the Marines around. Let them go to Australia. Let them go to New Zealand. Let them go to Hawaii. What permits them not? But the issue is the federal dollar. And that's why I keep going back to self-determination, is because when we have a new currency, that's what it's coming down to. And if the national debt continues to escalate any more than it is, people are going to suffer. And it goes back to treating each other with dignity and respect.
Hey, that's going to have to be it for tonight. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Hey, that's going to do it. Tune in tomorrow morning on Isla 63, your Chamorro radio station, for more talk. We'll talk about Jonathan tomorrow and what else comes to your mind. That's
I'll be
tomorrow
listening.
Morning in The Buzz. It's good night for now.